Hello everyone. Now today's video will be slightly different from the usual. This is not strictly a deck showcase, this is more me complaining about elemental transfiguration in the current state of Genshin TCG. But because I know people will not be entertained by just watching this face right here and hearing my voice, will actually be playing a couple arena of Champions games, hopefully to showcase the point I will be trying to make today, although that's not the current. This one shows you the deck. If you are wondering what I will be playing, it's right here. I tried to cook up something with Dahlia. I came up with this Kazuha swirl deck. Of course, the idea is to combine Shima Nava's reminiscent damage bonus with Sapwood Unseen Razor spam to deal a bunch of damage. Of course, the Edict of Absolution Arcane Legend card, so we can spam Kazuha without having to switch back from his skill, which you didn't know the skill switches you to your next character, but we can nullify that with the Edict of Absolution. Other than that, bunch of draw power mostly, so we get the Golden House Sapwood Unseen Razor combo. But anyway, this video is not about this deck, this video is about me complaining about elemental transfiguration, and to showcase my point I'm hoping to find an opponent who plays elemental transfiguration, and this deck could very much use elemental transfiguration, so let's see. If this guy does not use elemental transfiguration, I'm just going to jump into the next game where my opponent actually does play elemental transfiguration, but
alright, let's
drum roll please here. They do have elemental transfiguration. Okay, great, I don't need to wait any longer than that. So the thing about elemental transfiguration, this is actually a very good showcase. Look at my dice.
A dash of frosting.
My game plan for round one Kazuha skill. Now admittedly it will be, actually since they are playing Thunder Manifestation, do I want to go for Kazuha? It would be quite a lot of... No, but hold on, round 2 I'm going to do a Dahlia skill, so the Thunder Manifestation will lock onto Dahlia, and I can just go for Dahlia Burst if I really need to, it doesn't really matter. My game plan is to go for Kazuha skill here. What do I need for that? 3 Anemo dice, everything else I will use for setup. And well, I don't have 3 Anemo dice, but my opponent, they can do exactly everything they want, because elemental transfiguration has guaranteed them good dice. And that's the first thing about elemental transfiguration, it is a dice fixture. And now that by itself isn't a big deal. And we've had dice fixtures before. The thing about elemental transfiguration is, all you need to do is play the characters needed for the elements needed for the reaction, and it automatically comes out of your deck onto the field and fixes your dice. It's not the sort of arcane legend where you play... Actually, that was bad order of playing cards by me, but ignore that part. It's not the sort of arcane legend thing where it's guaranteed your starting hand. No, it's guaranteed to pop out of your deck for you and immediately fixes your dice. Like, if it was simply like when you have characters of the said element, or the only characters needed for the reaction, then it is guaranteed in your starting hand and you still have to play it to get guaranteed dice in the roll phase, that would already make transfigurations much more balanced overall. But as they currently are, the fact that they pop out of your deck, they immediately fix your dice, they basically mean whatever round 1 skills you want to use, you can use them with transfiguration. And that already is very, very good. That already makes transfiguration strong. But no, The moment you do the reaction, what the Transfiguration is about, you get the blessing. And the blessing, not only does it guarantee you good dice, it also gives you some extra benefit. In this case, either dice cost increase or extra damage. Like that already is very, very strong. And the fact that you only need to play the second version, you only need to play the blessing part if you have only elements needed for the reaction. It's just stupidly strong. So strong, in fact, that I'd say Elemental Transfiguration is comparable to a second Arcane card in your deck. Not having Elemental Transfiguration is the same as handicapping yourself. Like, look at my dice here. 3 usable Hydro, 1 usable Anemo. Now, of course, this round my opponent doesn't have guaranteed dice, but all they need to do is play that Transfiguration back on the field, and next round forward they will have good dice. Quickly about the deck. Round 1 Kazuya skill, round 2 we do Dahlia skill. Of course, the idea is that if your opponent switches characters trying to avoid the swirl, it deals hydro damage. If they don't avoid the swirl, you get a free switch. And of course, Kazuya getting a fast action with the Midar Ranzan normal attack effect from the skill. It doesn't matter if our opponent switches characters, we are guaranteed a swirl here unless they fast action switch and then switch again. Or cleanse somehow without switching characters. But yeah, the thing I'm trying to say is with this Transfiguration stuff is I tried this patch. I tried to make decks that didn't use Transfiguration because I was like, okay, new characters, okay, we can do, triple concentrated beast, we can do funny Dahlia decks that aren't just another Gaming deck, which, by the way, the second deck that came to mind with Dahlia was just Dahlia plus Gaming, and then I was, oh, you can use Vaporize Blessing for that, it will be all fun and games. So yeah, and how did it end up with this deck with triple concentrated beasts? Everyone using Elemental Transfiguration more or less kicked my ass. For example, with this deck I haven't achieved 5. Okay then. I'll continue that in the next match. So, as I was saying, with this deck, with triple concentrated beasts, which have been the 2 decks I have now had the time to play this patch, well, with the triple concentrated beasts, I did achieve 5 victory Arena of Champions challenge, but with this deck, I have not achieved 5 victories in Arena of Champions before getting 3 losses. With almost all, I think there was 2 exceptions, 2 decks that beat this deck, where the opponent did not play Elemental Transfiguration. But every other loss with this deck that I've had, my opponent has played Elemental Transfiguration. Now, is it worth to gamble this? Because this is skill 2 Liben. Is it worth to gamble? Because it's 1 weapon or 1 artifact, and I have 5 artifacts in the deck. It's 1 out of, I suppose, 2 out of 5. Yeah, 5 out of those. No, actually, it would be 1 out of 5, not 2 out of 5. I guess I will not gamble this time. But yeah, like I said, I have not achieved 5 victories with this deck, and only I have played 3 Arena of Champions challenges with this deck, and yeah, only 1
A bitter pill to
no,
swallow.
2 games where I didn't, where I lost and it wasn't because an opponent using Elemental Transfiguration. Luckily my opponent did the bad game plan. They should of course go for Baisu skill, then Nilu skill. That's a little good for me because of course now I'm once again gonna be going for Dahlia. Actually I'm going to start with this because it looks like we could have played it last round. That is very nice. Could I get an unseen razor here? No, but this is also pretty cool.
Surprise baptism.
But yeah, like the benefits that the Transfiguration gives, like the very fact that it guarantees you good dice already means like all possible cards used for fixing dice are no longer needed. Like at all. You don't need anything that fixes your dice because you have the Transfiguration which does that for you. And when you eventually get the blessing and play that on the field, you get some additional benefit on top of that. Like honestly, the amount of just the amount of stuff it gives you. It is, like I said, comparable to an arcane card, and not playing it is shooting yourself in the foot. Now I could, it would be 2 skills. But then I cannot switch characters. But they are going to go for more normal attack. So I mean, yeah, let's just. This is what the deck is about, so I might as well.
One with nature.
I'm assuming I switch to Baisu. Surprise to no one.
A bitter pill to swallow.
By the way, if you're wondering, Dahlia is the character to sacrifice here. Of course, it's a shame we don't get Dahlia's Burst, because outside of the arcane card, Dahlia's Burst is the only thing that gives us. Actually, hold on. If I take out Baisu here, it's going to be 5. Then I could end on Heiso and they would have no bloom. Because that's going to be 1, that's going to be 4. I mean, I already have 2 stacks. Mona is in the one-shot range. I mean, yeah, it's a bloom deck, so I definitely should take out their Dendro character. And of course, a shame we have to sacrifice, because I would much rather sacrifice Dahlia here, but no free switch nor another woe and die in hand. What can I do? But yeah, like I say, I've tried to make decks that don't use Transfiguration, and everything just comes down to, oh, this deck would be better if it was a Transfiguration deck. And it's just, what is the point of trying to like trying to balance dice fixing card draws, extra damage, healing in your action cards, when you can just, hold on, let's just take in the Elemental Transfiguration that does like 2 jobs for you. It's either, it's guaranteed good dice, you don't need anything else. Well, like, okay, they did play it this round, so they probably didn't have good dice, so actually having like Bestes is understandable
Delve
here.
into destiny.
But yeah, what is the point trying to make a deck without Elemental Transfiguration when you can make a deck with Elemental Transfiguration and it will be just better? Now the thing is, this doesn't give me really anything, but actually, I mean, I can play just that and switch characters at the end of the round. I guess that's fine for me. Now unfortunately my next deck will not take out Mona here. Okay. I mean, at least they took this version. I was assuming they would take the +2 max HP, because that's definitely not broken or anything. I mean, I could go for Dahlia's skill so that I could get more value out of this next round. I mean, Dahlia will not be taken out by the summons, that is. It would only be a bit of hydro damage, like 3 to 1, 6. Yeah, actually that's better, because then I can Hazo's, like Dahlia skill now, then fast action Hazo. No, but I don't have 2 stacks, they can burst Mona. That is not good. If I do this, suppose I'll do this and next round, you know. Now I have burst and whatnot. We'll just switch here and play this.
Go, go, go!
But yeah, like, I understand the whole transfiguration thing. It's a problem currently, but I'm sure in the future, as we get more and more elemental transfigurations, this problem kind of solves itself, because no matter the deck you want to play, you can just add a transfiguration. Or alternatively, what they could do right now, and what is something I would love to see, take away the guaranteed dice from the blessing, like the follow-up, the blessing parts. The transfiguration, leave the guaranteed dice for that one, take away the guaranteed dice from the blessing parts. Because then there's still actually a reason to, you know, play dice fixers and whatnot. Surprised to no one. Yeah, they do take out. That's now better if I'm anyway going to do a burst here.
Confess!
But yeah, like,
My reckoning.
it's just, there's just no point. Why would you not play transfigurations when they are probably one of the most valuable, best cards in the game you can have? Like, it's no surprise. Are there, like, I guess Escoffier, Lini, Tulpa is still considered a meta deck, but are the other meta decks, they use elemental transfiguration currently? But yeah, this video was really just me complaining about transfiguration in the current stage, even though I know it probably will be. They either will nerf the transfigurations in the future, or they will just keep adding them until there's so many of them that it doesn't matter what you play, you can just use the transfiguration. And when everyone uses the transfiguration, it's the same thing with arcane cards, you know. When everyone has it, it's no longer a problem. But honestly, if you're trying to achieve good results in TCG these days, don't bother playing a deck without elemental transfiguration. If your deck doesn't use elemental transfiguration, consider switching. That's just like how it currently feels to play TCG. But anyway, next time I will do a proper deck showcase again, but every once in a while a man has to let out some of his opinions. Whether you agree with me or not, just remember the fact that time will most likely fix this situation. And if you think elemental transfigurations are somehow weak, then what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, I'll see you all next time.